get to know your question today about how much water you drink. It was a fun question, but I want you guys to take it seriously. And the reason for that is that, well, many reasons. Well, one reason for that is that your body gets naturally stiffer if you don't drink water. So when you're thinking that your Parkinson's or whatever you're thinking is getting worse, okay, it may just be actually you're not drinking water, okay? So about 3 liters a day, yeah? And you want to space it out throughout the day. So you don't gulp it down all at once because your blood volume then rises too quickly and your kidneys can't keep up with it, so it just flushes out the water. So it hasn't absorbed, it hasn't hydrated it. So you take your hands down, clasp them behind you, lift your shoulders and hold. So that's number one. The second part is that your brain is about 80% water, and if your brain does not have enough water, electrolytes to run on, right? It runs on electricity, so then you really cognitively are not going to be as sharp, and your reaction skills are going to go down, and then your mind is going to be tempted to think the worst, right? So that's number two. And so let's go ahead and take a side bet as I continue. So Friday, when I mentioned this, a lot of you came up to me and talked about incontinence. Okay, so let's talk about that. So incontinence is not having to do anything with a bladder per se. Okay, it is not a bladder issue for most people. It's a brain issue. Your brain triggers your bladder to release other side. Okay, so your brain is the one that's triggering the bladder. And you can retrain your brain, right? You can give it different signals. Okay, so it may not be easy to do, but it is doable, right? So arms out. Good. So let's go to balance. Secondly, there are bladder exercises that you can do, and they're really not per se bladder exercises, they are core exercises. So by the time you reach your 60s, 70s, you've sat a lot in your life, right? And so what happens is, stand on your feet. What happens is your bladder, along with your core, along with your glutes, low back muscles, they get weak. And so you get back pain. A lot of people have back pain about 60s or 70s. Are you having fun yet? And so that includes your bladder. Your bladder has 3 layers of muscle. It is a muscle. Okay, so the bladder, the core is all together. And so let's go ahead and stand on one other leg again and just hold. So you can retrain the muscle. You can do exercises that strengthen your core. So you don't have to have incontinence. It's a choice at the end of the day. It's a choice. In my book, the Smoothies for Parkinson's, I do have a smoothie specifically to strengthen your bladder muscles, and the fiber around it. So there are some things you can do, but whatever you do, don't get your mind going for the worst. Instead, hydrate. So one last thing about hydration is that you can't drink all at once. You need to drink sips at a time, small sips at a time, so that your body absorbs. If you want to add electrolytes to the water, then it helps you to absorb better, either like a kernel or two of sea salt, or a juice like a drop of lemon or lime helps. But anything that electrolyte, what's electrolyte? It's an electricity, right? So what conducts electricity is minerals, right? So distilled water has no minerals, so it does not conduct electricity very well. So we probably know this from your class here in high school. And so small sips, and think about this, that it takes about 2-3 months before your kidneys catch up to the fact that you are hydrating yourself more, okay? So you may have to go to the bathroom a little bit more for 2-3 months, but it's worth it, It's worth not being so stiff. It's worth having better cognitive function. And let's go into downward dog next. Aha.